Alright, gonna grab this box. Yep. We're replacing Mama's water pump.
Okay.
I'll show you what's wrong with it here. So, my wife's daily driver, Calypso here, Creampuff, is got a water pump leak. So you can see a pool here. It's been developing a leak for a while, and we'll take a look at it. I'll show you where I think it's leaking. I'm not sure if it's coming out of the weep hole, but either way it's leaking. We've got a Motorcraft water pump here, so we're gonna replace it. Let's pop the hood on this thing, take a look at it.
Woo!
My wife daily drives this. She loves it. It was called Calypso Creampuff, but now it's becoming Calypso Daily Driver because it's not as creamy and puffy. It's not as perfect. That's fine. It sits out in the sun. Starting to get a little fading on it. The paint job still looks perfect. She's got mud on her tires because she picks the kids up from the school and
Me.
Yeah, picks him up at the school and it's a dirty lot. So anyways, it's not perfect anymore, but it is a very, very beautiful car. She loves it. And that's all that matters. Okay, so you can see that's the water pump right here, Bubba. See right here?
Uh-huh.
Okay, the belt drives it right on the front here. So it spins this impeller shaft, circulates water throughout the motor. These are notorious for going out. Usually when they go out, they start weeping on this hole right here. See it?
Yes.
That is there on purpose. There's one on the top and the bottom. And what happens is there's a seal between here because there's water inside here and coolant. So what happens is when the impeller shaft and bearing start wearing out, and the seals wear out, it leaks on purpose so that it doesn't, get in all this up in the, just doesn't leak inside of it, and it's an indicator. So it pours out, it drips out, and it says, "Hey, it's time to replace your water pump."
All right.
But hers is actually, this is my only concern, is it's actually leaking around the gasket right here. So you see how it's wet right there, and see how it's wet all back there. See all that coolant pulling up?
Yeah, I do.
So this is really wet right here, and that tells me that maybe, possibly, one of these bolts has broken. It doesn't feel loose, but it's a very possibility, I guess, that these are cracked. And we're leaking coolant through the gasket that way, or it's just worn out. But that's what we're going to replace, Connor. So let me show you the part. It'll make more sense. You see the part that I'm looking at here?
Yes, I do.
Okay, well, it's important you keep these things fixed because if she's driving all the time and it's running out of coolant, eventually it'll get low enough. The engine won't have enough coolant to keep the engine cool, and therefore it'll overheat. Yeah, so I only buy Ford Motorcraft parts. So this is from LMR. Ford, made in China. Says so right there. Good old American-made Chinese parts. All right. So
American made and Chinese?
It's Ford. Ford's American.
Oh, okay.
Their company. You know what I'm saying? So that's the gasket. Don't lose that. There's a mid plate between these. See, this part comes with a mid plate and a gasket already installed right there. And this is what we replaced, buddy, just like that. So
yes, sir.
Now to get this off, there's bolts holding on. It's pretty easy. Okay. The hardest part is getting things out of the way. So first thing we got to do, Connor, is take off the belt. You can put that back over there because we won't need that for a while. Yeah, the first thing we're going to do here is take the belt off. You got to take the fan off. We can loosen these up. I like to loosen these. These are the radiator straps. It's kind of let you wiggle the radiator back a little bit. Get a little bit more room. You got to get the fan off to get it out of the way. Plus, it's, of course, bolted to the water pump pulley. And we'll take the belt off. And that's really it, except for the hoses. We got to get all the hoses out of the way. And drain the coolant. So draining the coolant is going to be the messiest part, but first we got to get the car moved. I'm going to spin it around so we're close to the tools, and yeah, and we'll be in the sunlight because it's a beautiful day.
Can I drive it?
No, you can't drive it. On that side. Okay. Yeah, when you're lifting these cars up, Connor, you gotta be very careful where you're jacking because This all right here is part of the unibody frame structure. So it's frame, but it's not frame. You don't want to jack on this. You can tell people have. See right here? See how there's a dent there? And worse, people will jack right here on the pinch weld. Right here. They'll like to put, and they actually make, you know, a thing that wraps the pinch weld and you can jack up on the pinch weld, but don't. See how nice and straight hers is? That means no one's ruined it, which is kind of rare in these cars. Someone looks like they probably tried it back there at one point. See, it's kind of bent.
Yeah.
And you definitely don't want to put the jack on the floors right here. This is all the floor. It's just sheet metal. It'll just bend right through the floor. What you want to do is get a solid structure on the K-member, which is this steel here. So you can put the jack here. That's a really good spot, I think it is. You can also put it right here on the A-arm, where the A-arm connects. Or you can put it up through on the pocket of the A-arm itself. I've done that many times without any problem. So, yeah. So there you go.
Yippee!
Let's see if we're high enough to drain the coolant. Yeah, see, look at it seeping right through this water pump right there. Look at that. I mean, that's where it's coming from, is right here. Yeah, it might work. Mama's mop bucket. That's right. Put it underneath the corner of this radiator right here. See the radiator?
Yeah.
The drain plug is down on the bottom, so put it underneath there. Yep.
Oh, it's too high.
Oh, slide it under there. It'll fit.
Nice.
Should be pouring out now, right?
What? Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Pouring out.
That's pouring out real slow. Like reels. Open that valve up.
Oh, yeah, boy. Oh, yeah. Look at that. Oh, it smells weird.
Cool it. I just took the whole valve. You ain't got time for this. Let it drain out. You get a towel.
Gotta get towel.
Get a rag. Ain't nobody got time for that.
Rags in a box. This one right there. Rags in a
There's
box.
those two. I got these rags though. All right. What you do is you put one hand here, like hold it and stabilize it. Just kind of look and use this hand and just make wider swings to go faster. There you go. There you go.
Get the fan off completely. It's not moving. Moving.
Muscle it.
I can't.
Taught Connor the extra leverage trick using double wrenches and saddling it. I got one bolt left, and all I'm doing is I don't want to take this last bolt off because I don't want the pulley to do this because it's under tension on the belt. So all I'm doing is just loosening this last bolt here, just a little bit, and then now we take the belt off. It is an 18 mil, yay!
Good job.
All right, breaker bar, 18 mil, idler pulley, twist this way, loosen the belt, take belt off. And what's funny is I remember ordering a belt for her because her belt's squeaking. You probably heard that whenever it started up.
Oh, yeah.
And I don't think it came in, so
Oh.
yeah, we have to go get a belt from O'Reilly's here.
Okay.
And guess what? You don't have to take the fan off. You don't have to wrap it around the fan. Boop, just like that.
Well, that's massive.
It is. It goes serpentine belt.
Oh, well.
All right.
That's.
Now I can take this last bolt off, and we'll take.
I'm used to
fan.
my little belts on my go-kart.
Yeah.
It's small.
This is longer than that for sure. Now the not so fun part, getting the fan out of here. Does not want to come through the top.
So push it down to the
You
bottom.
might be able to go through the bottom or left there. What we're probably going to do, and honestly, it's easier to take the fan shroud off with the fan, Connor. So these are like 7/16.
You want me to try? I got small hands.
Take the pulley off. That should hopefully. There we go. Getting this thing, see how I can slide it up enough to get it out? There we go. Ta-da! This is a new fan too.
Ugh. Oh my goodness.
A little dusty, a little dusty. That's a normal sound, perfectly normal. And it should be on a clip on the bottom, so I think it'll be okay. Oh, it's got. Oh, that's right. I forgot about that. It's got one in the middle. I need that wrench again. Ha! Retrieved it.
Good job.
Okay, and we'll lift this up. It's kind of heavy. It's got coolant in it. Mama's been keeping it full, but now.
What goes for her?
Yeah. Now we just get this out of the way. Look, see how much room we have now? Now you can see the water pump.
Okay, fine. Finally, there we go. Okay, so my dad had to go pee. So he told me, he told me to remove some screws. Oh my gosh, remove some screws right here. So that's what I'm gonna do. Yeah. Alright.
You can't. All I see is your back.
Oh really?
Yeah. You gotta always know where the camera's at. There you go. Oh, that's tight. Come on, man.
Man,
Come on, bro.
It's confusing because you say it changes.
No, man, there's only tight and loose thing. All right, Connor, while you're doing that,
Okay,
this bracket needs to come off. This is the air conditioning bracket. See how it's bolted to the front of the water pump. This bracket and the power steering bracket is bolted to the water pump. Yeah, it's good. As long as you get it up, you should be able to slide it.
Man strength.
One. Hey, what do you do when you're next to the battery right here?
You don't touch it with the metal.
That's positive, right?
Yeah.
Whole car is grounded. Everything metal in the car is grounded. What happens if I hit these two? Big spark.
Yeah, big kaboom.
Big spark. So you want to be... What you should do...
Come on, there, go!
is disconnect. God almighty. Alright, I'm not sure what I was thinking. You don't really have to remove... You don't really have to remove the AC, like, itself, or the pump. What we really should just do, probably, Connor, is get just the bolts that are on the water pump, and then move it out of the way. So that's what we're going to do. So these are going to be this one, and that one. And then this one right here. You want to make sure you get this one, because that's going all the way through the power steering pump to the block. And I think, and then that one down here goes all the way through also. So we got to remove those two bolts. These three. Well, I figure at this point we let Connor go inside for a second, because I'm really just fighting this bolt and it's super tight. So just trying to get this one off. I think I'm going to put some heat on it right there to try to heat the bolt up, because I'm really, really afraid I'm going to snap it. This thing has got a ton of pressure on it and barely moving. All the other bolts are fine. So it looks like this pump has never been taken off the car. At least that's what it looks like to me. But anyways, I'm going to try to put some heat on it down there and just see if I can't hopefully heat it up enough to help break it loose. I really don't want to snap a bolt off, because then we have to remove everything here versus just this front plate to get the water pump off. God, this thing is on tight. Impact wouldn't even touch it. It's amazing how it snapped it. Okay, hopefully now you can see what I was after here. Just getting this plate off. You don't have to remove the AC compressor completely with the back bolts, and you don't have to remove the power steering pump. It'll be swing free on this stud here. The objective here is to get this plate off. Now, all we do is get the hoses out, and it will be good to go on the water pump. I think I'll clean this up while I'm at it too. When doing this hose here, this is probably, honestly, God, probably the most pain in the ass part of putting a water pump in a 302 or small block Ford is this angular hose here. You want to just take it off the water pump and leave it like this, but I kind of found in the past, if you just take it off the back part, leave it on the front part, reinstall this hose like this onto the new pump. That way, when you slide it on, all you have to do is just push this back part in. It makes it a lot easier. So we're going to do that. Really need to replace these hoses. Look how bulged that is. That's not good. I was just waiting for a crack. So now it's just as simple as removing the water pump bolts. Now this, I like to keep the bolts in order. So when I remove them, take them out and put them in the new pump. And then when this is out, put them back into the old pump. That way you have a reference point of where all the bolts go. So you ever order a replacement set of bolts? Go ahead and get you some stainless ones so you don't have this problem later. Well, it's been removed, and what I said earlier about it being all original, not true. This thing's been replaced before because there's RTV sealant on it. It actually just looks like the gasket just literally failed on it. I don't know if there is gasket on here. I can't really tell. Yeah, there is. But it looks like there's some goop in here, see? So, I mean, the gasket just failed. It started leaking out in this area up here. You know, it just looks like it failed. So this whole unit's trash. I'm glad I'm replacing it because it's in really bad shape. So what we're going to do though is clean up the bolts. But what I want to do first is just move the bolts to their position here on the old one. Again, it's just keep track. I like to keep track of the bolts. You don't have to do this. You can just go by length. They're all kind of unique lengths, but this. And we're going to put these on a wire wheel, clean the crap out of them because they are nasty. So at this point, I'm not even going to film it. I'm just going to do some cleaning. We're going to clean the bolts, clean the block, spray it down, try to get all this crud out of here in the corners, out of there in the corners. And yeah, look, you got some gas coming through here. Look at that. Okay, so I got all the bolts cleaned up, all the threads cleaned. I probably shouldn't put them back in here because this is going to get more dirty, but anyways, they're cleaned up. And I did go to AutoZone and find locally some new hoses, so that is good. I don't have to. I got a new belt too while I was at it. New belt. That's the bypass hose. Radiator hose. Needed some more high tack. I like this stuff because we're not going to use any RTV on this gaskets. And some brake clean. And should be good to go. Now what I'm going to do is, what I'm going to do is probably go ahead and just get this thing ready, get the hoses ready to fit, kind of compare it, cut it in size, get it in place on the new water pump, switch over the hose clamps. Okay, I'm going to use a roll-lock pad here. These are great on an angle grinder. These are awesome for cleaning gasket surfaces, but you also got to be careful with aluminum. These things will dig. It's basically like a Scotch-Brite, but it is an abrasive. Different colors are different abrasives. So let's kind of go light with it to clean up the gasket surface. All right, engine block and mating surface is clean. It's time to put on the new water pump. The gasket in between, I like to install these dry. Let them do their job. That's what they're supposed to do. These are not supposed to be siliconed up. You don't have to take this apart. You don't have to goop it up. There's no need to. What I am going to do though to hold the gasket in place is to use some of this Permatex high-tack gasket sealant. Put a small coat on. What this will do is hold the gasket in place while we position it and put it in there. Man, this stuff is like super glue. That stuff is awesome. It's super, super sticky. As soon as you put it on, it starts tacking up and holds the gasket to it really well. That way you're not fighting the gasket the whole time. So, I need to replace my glove, but other than that, look at that. I mean, that gasket is nice and stuck. It's not going anywhere. Now I can put it on the motor without having to worry about, finagling it. So, I want to put the upper bolts in first. These are blind. These do not go into any kind of coolant right here. So, we'll put these in just to hold in place. These around the water pump go into coolant passages. We want to make sure we put some sealant on them. But these three up here should be good. Okay, remember, don't forget your hose clamps. Get your hose ready, and we're going to slide it on here first, like that. Okay. See how easy it was to get this top hose on? That's what I'm talking about. Now, this hose, unfortunately, is the wrong one. I got to return it to AutoZone. I got no choice but to use the existing hose. So that's what we're going to do. The last bolt, nothing is tightened. I'm just putting this on. So I do went ahead and put thread sealant on it. I don't have the liquid sealant. That's normally what I do use, but this time I'm just going to use thread sealant tape, which is fine. I just want to make sure I put some sealant in between these longer bolts. Make sure you put that clamp in. You leave room. Put your socket around this guy here. So now I'm just hand tightening them, kind of in a crisscross pattern. I had to switch torque wrenches. The other one was not working. Okay, I did take a moment to throw some black paint on this bracket. Kind of clean this up a little bit. So just go right back on, same way it came off. The only trick I can really give you when putting the fan shroud and fan back in, I like to do them both as one piece. You kind of see me on the time lapse do it that way. And then just kind of loosely align a bolt. I usually just put my finger back here until I feel the hole, line everything straight up and down, and don't have a problem putting it in. What I'll do is just kind of finger tighten the first couple here, and then we'll spin it and do the opposite side. What I want to do is just get them all started loosely here. Also helps to doing this way without the belt on. Then you can just spin the fan over easily. Okay, we're about done buttoning everything up. Zipped all the brackets back up. Everything is good to go. All of our hoses are tightened back up. Now I think what I want to do before I get too far in just buttoning everything up is go ahead and let's put some coolant in it. And I put the petcock valve back in too. Made sure that was back in first. And if we put coolant in it now, I've just had experience before with the water pump, you know, leaking, where you may have missed your gaskets or torque sequence or bolt or something like that, or maybe you don't have sealant on a bolt. And so anyways, now's the time to check for leaks before I get too far into wrapping everything up. So far so good. That is full. I'm going to finish buttoning everything up, and then we're going to burp the system out. Alright, we're about to start this thing up. So I went ahead and got her a new belt. Hers was squeaking and actually was pretty stretched out. I didn't realize how stretched it was, so I got this one compared to Lynx, but this is just a Duralast 905 K6 6PK 2300. So standard belt for a 92 fox body with factory air, and the tensioner is right in the tight range. So you can see it is like very fresh belt, really tight. I didn't realize hers was actually sagging. This thing was probably about right here. So I don't know, this belt was probably about this much shorter, like when you stretch it out the whole circumference. So it is nice and new. We got a new belt, painted plate. I need to actually probably just spray this engine bay off, and I think I'm going to do that. We're going to get it off the jacks, and I think what I'll do is roll it out so I can power wash and spray off everything, kind of get everything cleaned up, clean up the driveway, pick up the tools, and that'll also give me time to burp the system. So let's get it off of its jacks down on the ground, and let's start the engine and make sure everything doesn't leak. So far so good, no leaks. Now I do notice that squeak still happened right when I started it. To kind of give it I don't know what that is. I'm thinking it might be the clutch or something. I can see it cycling, so it's probably a little bit low on Freon, but water pump looks good, no leaks. Sounds good. This thing runs great. All right. When I was back there, I also heard I've got a vacuum leak in this right here. This is the AC. So this goes to the valve over there on the firewall. Ultimately goes inside and controls your air conditioning valves and everything. But this is cracked right there. So I gotta order one. I don't have any more of these teas. I need to get some from LMR. Anyways, let the coolant expand. See how it's getting up to the top here? Let this coolant expand. What I want to do is this will get high until the until the thermostat opens up. Once the thermostat opens up, which is not, this is still cold. The thermostat will open up and coolant will flow through here. And this will drop significantly. We can fill it back up. But yeah, it's still cold. So the thermostat has not opened up yet. And let's warm it up. So this will probably spill out. Again, I think I'm going to take this out and just rinse off the whole engine bay floor. It's pretty filthy. Yeah, I'm making a mess. Don't worry though. That's good. It is doing what it's supposed to be doing. It's definitely expanded. It is spilling everywhere. I'm letting it make a mess because I'm going to hose it all off. I'm going to clean it up anyways. And that's fine. It is getting really hot and it is pouring out. The thermostat housing is not open yet. Come on. There it goes. It just dropped. See that? It just stopped spilling out and dropped big time. Now it's like really low because it's spilt out. So I bet. Yep. Yeah, so this is warm now. So finally the thermostat opened up and dropped down. So now this is how I burp it. I know it's a mess. It's a bad way to do it. But that's how I do it, man. So now we're dropped, thermostat open, we're getting all the air out of the system. Now we'll top it off. Alright buddy, check it out, no leaks.
You fixed it.
It's been out here running for 20 minutes as I've been cleaning up the driveway and sprayed down all the coolant that I leaked, diluted it with water. It was plain water, it wasn't green. It had green dye in it, but it wasn't coolant. Cool, huh? You want to slap that floor mat in? Yep. This floor mat's been like curling up, so.
You took it out.
Yeah. Thanks for your help, Connor.
No problem.
Look how tall he is.
You're welcome.
He's almost my height. Alright. Calypso Creampuff. I'm going to take her out for a quick spin here. Just make sure everything's okay. Watch the coolant levels and all that kind of stuff. This car drives so nice. It's like the perfect stocker. I love it though. I like it stock. It's cool. The only thing I've said before that I would do this car is probably put on some, put in some gears, you know, do something like a 373 or 350, 350 would be nice, but it runs great, man. Nice and strong, no smoke, no blow by. It's a good car. Coolant, of course, is good. Temperatures are good. This car's never had a problem with heat. Left or right? Let's go this way. All right. Definitely not the quickest car. So I take to drive my 86, this thing feels slow, but it is a great stock driver. Look how good it cruises, man. It's in such nice shape. Nothing's cracked up. It's just a pretty car. So I like driving this car. I don't get to drive it that often. She loves this thing. I've even offered to get rid of it for her. I mean, like, hey, you know, we've had this for 2 years now. You know, do you want to get a real car, make payments again? She's like, no. She loves not having payments, and yeah, I mean, there's a lot to be said for that. So she's enjoying it. So as far as I'm concerned, we're getting our money's worth out of this car. And like I said, I can work on it. Did I say that? I didn't say that, but I should have said that. I can work on it, you know? Easy to work on. And then once you get experience with multiple ones, it's easy to carry that experience on with other ones too. So easy to work on. I don't know what I'm talking about here. All right, man. Yeah, this thing needs some gears, but it sounds good. You gotta love the Flowmasters. Flowmasters for the win. Love this car. Guys, I'm gonna wrap it up. Just a short video. Getting Calypso maintained here. Gotta maintain the daily drivers. It's always something, man. Even though they're in good shape, you buy one that's, you know, low mileage. The fact is, if you're gonna sit, you know, these old cars are old. So even if you get a nice, pristine one, expect to work on it. So the reality is, if you're gonna daily drive a foxbody Mustang, you're gonna work on it. Okay, it just is what it is. Hopefully you're not doing a full engine rebuild, but you're gonna work on it. This thing's had all kinds of vacuum lines break, evaporation canister was leaking, a lot of vacuum lines replaced and cracked and broken, stuff like that. AC charge, it needed charge, it needed that pulley on it. Front suspension was shot, you know, we've done brake work on it. So yeah, I mean, this car was in great shape when I bought it, but it's, you know, it takes maintenance. But is it worth it? Hell yeah, it's worth it. Look what you're driving, man. Look at this thing. It's a sweet, cool, vintage 80s icon. And that's pretty cool. There's a lot to be said for that. But hey, thanks for watching. Hey, follow me on Instagram. Okay? And also go to howtodoula.com. Everything is posted on howtodoula.com. Videos, Instagram feed, Facebook group. It's all right there. Check that out. So do that, and hey, we'll see you guys next time. Take care.